Hello, and welcome back to the Friday Feels episode of the You Up podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana. We are going to be doing a deep dive into the hit movie, You've Got Mail. So if you are watching on YouTube or listening and you haven't watched You've Got Mail before, spoiler alert, but also
It's a little late. Movie came out in
late.
1998.
If you want to have, I've listened to movie review podcasts before, and sometimes I'm like, I don't even need to watch the movie to like get into it. But that might be different for someone listening or watching. So go watch the movie because it might make this better for you, or this might just be a fun trip down memory lane. And it's up to us to like kind of like remind you of like how the movie went. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna go through the movie and we're gonna talk about it here, especially because we've done rom-com reviews here. This is what this is about. This is a dating show. We're going to discuss, how this kind of fits into the dating world in 2025. And if you have a movie that you'd like us to like get into, comment on YouTube. That's the best place to do it so that we can see it and we'll take it into consideration. Jordana, how do you feel about You've Got Mail? Did you watch? I know you watched, but like, how did you watch it? How did you feel overall? Where do you stand?
I rented it on Amazon Prime because I don't travel 5 days a week, so I didn't watch it for free on my Delta flight. Like
Delta really came through for me.
Seriously, saved you like $3.99.
Yeah,
very exciting. I watched this movie. I've watched this movie so many times, but I haven't, not that recently, and with a dating lens. In this way, but I quote this movie all the time. I quote this movie with Aileen and Sammy all the time. I love this movie. I think it's the perfect time capsule for this era. I think there's some stuff that feels dated, but there's some stuff that feels like it could happen right now. And obviously like the the actual fears are different, but I think technology and dating is such an interesting topic. And this is almost like the first movie to really address that.
Right. And, I got nostalgic watching this movie. It does feel like it's fall in New York, which to anyone who's lived in New York during the fall, this movie kind of feels like an old blanket of sorts. Like it really does feel comfy, cozy. It's weird because like, at what age do you start being like, you guys, that was the era. That was the one we should have stayed in,
right.
And I feel weird saying that because I wasn't even dating age to stay in this era. But I look at this and I go, this all feels like where we should have stopped, like.
In some ways, I think it's like an ideal vision of like the charm and the romance that New York could be, especially in the Upper West Side where it's set, which I think almost has like a little bit of more of this vibe than other places in the city.
Yeah, I even like the rich people are more relatable and likable than the rich. Like it was like, I like this version of rich people.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not that big of a divide. They seem to live the same way as the regular people.
Right.
Mostly.
I have to say, income inequality really like crossed my mind more than I thought it would while watching this movie.
I mean, Kathleen Kelly's apartment as a failing children's bookstore owner is like the dream apartment. Like the rent for that would be like $12,000 a month or something.
Right. It's open. It's airy. It has a dining room. Like it's
like what?
It's actually crazy. So I guess to get into the beginning of the movie, the way the movie sets up, it's Kathleen Kelly owns a small bookstore and we pop into her life as she has this new bookstore looming.
Children's bookstore. So she's even more
niche
and I think like innocent, like naive and innocent. I think it adds to like the innocence of her character. Like she does seem She seems very positive and very like
Delusional.
right, naive and delusional, which we talk about in dating all the time, is like sort of go hand in hand of like,
Right.
yeah, things are great, they'll stay great.
Well, for her to not even realize that a Fox Books could be moving into the area, like, because when we start this movie, it's Kathleen Kelly is finding out a Fox Books is moving into the neighborhood, and Fox Books being the Borders bookstore, which again ages this movie in a weird way because even now, 2025, Borders
They're out of
bookstore
business.
are out of business, right? So, like,
Yeah.
you know,
Barnes and Noble, I was thinking, are you a Borders guy?
Borders, Barnes and Noble. You're right. I guess I would think of Barnes and Noble. I guess I think of them as Coke and Pepsi. I don't know. I guess.
Well, Barnes and Noble had a Starbucks in it, so that's why, for some reason, I thought of it as more of a star because they were always talking about the cappuccinos that they could buy in the bookstore.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. Like, that's the part of the era that we walk into. It's like Starbucks is like huge and this like kind of like exciting thing that's happening. Starbucks, the idea that you could sit in a Starbucks and it was a nationalized thing that we all knew about. So like that's happening. The big box bookstores, Borders and Barnes and Nobles, those are like becoming a nationalized thing that are like kicking out the little guy. And like, that's kind of what this movie is addressing when we start. And now the internet is happening. And, you know, that's like the modernness of this movie is all not modern anymore. But that was kind of like where this movie starts is like, look at how modern we are. We are a dating movie that includes the internet. And now, and we're talking about Starbucks, which is like everyone's like got their Starbucks order. Like like I do remember a time where Starbucks was like, whoa, this is like people were excited. Cool. Like,
I still love Starbucks.
You're a Starbucks stan. I mean, like, nowadays Kathleen Kelly's store like works. Like that's like what we go to now.
Well, it's like a counterculture now.
Right.
Now it's like the counterculture of the, you know. It's cool. Like now that's your little boutique coffee shop.
Right. That sells like there's a place in the West Village called Airmail. Have you ever been there? And it's like, I don't know who supports this store. Like this store is like not possible. How do they make any money? But they have a coffee thing in there and they sell like tchotchkes and it's like all overpriced. And it's like, who would get a notebook from here? But like, that's what kind of her store would have to turn into, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, it's charming. It's lovely. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because they meet, and I don't know if this ever became socially acceptable, but they meet in an over 30 chat room.
Right.
So the movie starts, the two of them are excitedly checking their email with the dial-up AOL sound playing. And you basically learn that they met in a chat room and now they speak. They don't give any personal details, but they speak through email and like a little bit later in the movie through instant message briefly.
Right.
But generally they're basically just like email pen pals that don't know any personal information about each other that meet in a chat room, which she, even when she is telling her coworkers, she sounds a little embarrassed about, which was realistic.
Right. I mean, so they're also dating other people.
Yes. They're both in relationships.
They're both in relationships and in an over 30 chat room to meet people, which is like lightly addressed. Does that like, that was the kind of the thing that I was like, man, this is where our dating problems, like all of like well, they're allowed to be talking to someone else. We're not in a relationship and, you know, it's not like we're excluded. Like, I don't know if this kind of like is a little bit of a warning of what's to come as far as what people are tired of in dating, the disposability of it all, which it's not described that way here. It's described as two people in relationships just chit-chatting with someone over email who they're kind of excited about,
right,
in a way that's different than what they have in front of them. You know, like
you're sort of watching an emotional affair unfold.
Right. But they never really say that. Like That's kind of weird. The way this movie begins, I think,
Unspoken. Yeah.
right? It's unspoken, and we're like watching it from this cynical 2025. Like we've heard it all in dating, we've done the online dating. We're kind of like we're living in like I think where we live in online dating right now is like the house is burnt down, and we're like standing on top of the ashes, and we're like, this is what dating is now. Ah! And there at the house, like this is like going back in time to that same house, beautiful and well structured, that they're like, and do you want to try this online dating? Like they're so wide-eyed about it that there's no cynicism at all to be like, we're cheating on our spouses.
Right. Well, they're not cheating yet, really. It's inappropriate. I would say they're having inappropriate. But again, it could be. Let's say it was a woman. Let's say it was like she's talking to a fellow book loving woman that she met in a chat room about books.
But that's not what happened. About books is different than over 30s New Yorkers.
Over 30. Right. But it could be friends.
I know.
Hypothetically, right? I mean, there's nothing.
Right.
They're not really saying anything. They're hinting at it a little bit, but there's nothing said that's like overtly sexual or overtly intimate. It does feel, it's like a super subtle undertone of flirtatiousness.
Absolutely. And they're getting, and to each other, they both kind of like agree this other person's perfect. The way we write back and forth. Right. I'm excited to hear from them. And then they show them in their lives with their spouses and who they're dating. And we even see it. We're like, oh, fuck Greg Kinnear. And we're like, fuck Parker Posey. But like, they're like these like cartoons of people. Like they are two like actual cartoons. He's the up his own ass, like,
right.
pseudo-intellectual, yeah, like loves the attention, like total, like liberal doofus type. And Patricia, or her name is Patricia in the movie.
Yeah. Parker Posey is like kind of like a little insufferable, just generally
insufferable, like Fox News lady, like definitely like rings like cutthroat asshole, like. And that's the other thing about this movie is like the politics of it all. They do get into it, but like everything seems economically, if the world feels closer together.
Yes.
Politically, the world feels closer together. Like where they disagree isn't like hateful. They just kind of like, this is how we see that. I don't know. There was so much of this that I'm like, take me back. Take me back, like
to the 90s.
Right.
Yes.
I don't know. It's like
simpler time.
Even the way they're cheating.
Everything seems less charged. Everything is just way less charged, way less intense. It's more relaxing.
It is.
Even when they're like making fun of the bookshops that they're putting out of business. It's still like casual.
It is casual, and it does feel like inevitable. Like you do kind of see their side. They're like, we have discounts. Like, of course we should exist. Like, and they both do both. The one thing you see about his character and her character is they both believe in their plight. Like they both wax on whimsically about, when he gets into like why they should come into the book, like they're in the gym and he's like, they cut off everything I said, how we have a book.
That was funny.
Right. It's like, we sell cheap books.
I sell cheap books.
Right.
So sue me.
Right. And then he gets into his like worldview, and his worldview is like he's like, we got a place where you can get coffee and you can get a book for less money. And
no one will bother you.
No, right. Yeah. And we have a kids zone where we're going to have a clown read to your kid, and you can.
Well, I also think your politics, I think, were less of like a personality trait, because like even Meg Ryan, who's very much, obviously she has a niche, small, boutique, lovely bookstore, still going to Starbucks, big ass corporation Starbucks. Like, I don't think no one's doing something to show that that's what they do as like their, this is what they stand for. It's just like casually what they think.
Yeah, it did have a breeziness to it. And
Yeah.
so they're in this chat room, they meet, and now they're like, how would you feel if your boyfriend was pumped to get an email from a stranger online, or pumped to get a notification that, and again, it's not a dating app, so it's way less, inflammatory, like, I'm trying to think of like,
I mean, I'm wary of anyone who wants a new friend.
Right.
Right.
Right. What's the deal here?
Even if I had a friend who's like, I met another friend in a chat room, I'd be like, why couldn't you meet someone in the real world as a friend?
What's wrong with
like,
you?
I think there's some, you know what I mean? Like a little bit.
But even a chat room,
there would be a cynical,
what would the chat room be of these days? I guess of these days, it would be DMing someone who like
Reddit.
Maybe. That's fair.
Because you're not seeing anyone's. I could see you having like forming a relationship with someone that you both comment in the same thread group on Reddit about something, and then you take it offline to email, or I guess that's like the only anonymous place, but people usually use it much more. Actually, I guess people used to use chat rooms pretty cynically in like a horrible, dangerous way.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like, I mean, that was like to me, like it is funny that the danger, the element, like I'm like, this is way more dangerous back then than it is now. Like now there's an online footprint.
No one has a cell phone.
No cell phone and no Facebook, no Instagram. You can't be like, hey, let me look you up so I can like check out your life. Like, and like some people are like, oh, I wish it was more like that. But like, no, you don't. Like we naturally look people up now. You naturally go, let me make sure this is a real person and not, now it could be an AI bot. Like there was an article like a few months ago.
Fall in love with the bot, yeah.
Where a guy fell in love. The guy left his family and died coming into New York. Did you hear that story?
No, what? For ChatGPT?
He fell in love with a bot and then like went into New York. And I think he had like mental problems. I think he had like an issue. But like he ended up passing. Like because he was like on the hunt for this woman who claimed she was like, come meet me in the city. And he like he died.
Why would he die? How?
I'm giving like not enough of this story. I
don't get why we jump from like thinking he's dating someone to death.
I don't think he was able to like come into the city like that. Like I think that like,
okay,
I mean, we're getting
like due to health problems.
Yeah, like it was like something he shouldn't have been doing. The article's in the chat.
This movie has none of that darkness.
No,
this movie has
but
absolutely none of that. Right.
Man proposed to his AI chatbot girlfriend named Saul, then cried his eyes out when she said yes. Like these are things that are really happening. But back then, it's like there was no like safety protocols you could personally do. So like them meeting in a chat room,
dangerous.
Yeah.
This movie, it just kind of goes to show you like the lens and the dialogue that and the acting and like the casting of this movie has made it into such a lovely rom-com that is like so charming and romantic, but told a different way. This movie is like horrifying and like scary, and also like Joe Fox. I feel like when I was a kid and I watched this movie, I was like, he's charming, you're rooting for them. And now I watch it and I'm like, this guy is a fucking douchebag. What's going on? Like, he is not as charming.
So this was something I was going to ask you about.
It's made out to be.
Because I was like, is there like so to go through the movie, we start with like these two people who've met online and now they're emailing each other while they're still in other relationships. And then, things move along and she finds out Fox Books is moving in. Joe Fox and his grandpa and his dad are like kind of like having their big moment where they're going to open this huge superstore. They're kind of like gloating a little bit. We're coming to town. They know that they're going to get protested. They don't care. They're like, we are going to win this, as far as a business is concerned. And now Joe Fox, goes into the competitor, which is a competitor he knows he's going to squish like a bug, with his half brother. That was the other thing.
Yeah.
I do think that a lot of this movie was like, this is a modern life. Like, we meet online.
New York life.
Right.
Yeah.
Modern New York life. Like, this was like, to me, like a lot of this movie was like making it more acceptable to have like this, like, it's more acceptable to meet online. It's not nerds and losers in a parent's basement. These are two working people who are good looking, who are also in chat rooms. So it kind of helped the internet dating thing. It also is like, look at me. I got divorced parents who they got married again to younger people. And look at my brother's 4 years old and I take him to go get books. Like, this is all a happy modern life. This is like the original Modern Family, like showing us like,
Yeah.
you know, if you were living in Ohio, you know, you were looking at this being like, look at these New Yorkers and they're just cool with it. Like, the idea of like your dad is dating a younger woman and has a kid with her is like not even part of the story.
Right.
You know?
I also, yeah. And I think Tom Hanks has the unique ability to make this feel like casual and charming.
Right.
The whole life,
The whole
the dog,
life.
the life, the being a, you know, the owner of a multimillionaire superstore guy. He doesn't,
Right.
he makes that feel down to earth.
He really does. Cause like, and so then he goes into the bookstore with his niece and brother to like
check out the competition.
Check out the competition. And he meets Kathleen Kelly, who he already knows is the owner of the store. His grandfather had a relationship with the grandmother of a certain kind. They've been in, you know,
enchanting.
She's enchanting.
Your mother was enchanting.
That's right. And he puts it all together. And now he knows her before she knows him. He's basically Joe who's buying books, and he knows
just Joe.
He's just Joe. And she is Kathleen Kelly, the owner of the bookstore he's going to put out of business, but he doesn't want to let her know yet. And this is kind of a theme of the whole movie, is that he always knows
more than she knows
about her, more than she knows about him. And I was wondering, and I wanted to ask you this, is this a female, like, is this a sexy thing to women to like know a little less and have a guy who can lead you and like, I
have to destroy your business,
right?
In a charming way,
right? I don't know, because they do this 3 different times throughout the movie. He does it in the bookstore where she doesn't know that he's Joe Fox. Yes. Then he does it as he knows that she's shop around the corner. You know, that it's her.
Yeah. That she's shop girl.
Before she knows he's New York 1, 2, 3, 4,
right.
5. And then he kind of plays on it.
At the end.
And then at the end.
Right. Well, at the end, he's also, you know, organizing this meetup.
Right.
Knowing that it's him and kind of like being her friend and pretending that he's just like, you know, giving her advice.
Right.
Yeah. The whole movie, he's fucking with her. That's why I'm like, this is like sort of deranged. Like, I think I'd be annoyed.
Would you be? But it's being sold.
He lets her think she stood up at the bookstore.
Right.
Not only does he like ruin her entire livelihood, like puts her out of business. It does not feel. It wasn't personal, and I agree with her. She's like, people always say that it is personal.
Right.
It was personal to me.
It's personal to me, and it is because also her whole business is personal, and for him to say it's not personal. He waxes on poetically about the beauties of his store. It's personal to him too.
Right. Yeah. It's like somehow this movie has made this like horrific thing that happens where this guy is just like fucking with this woman for 2 hours on screen seem like one of the most romantic movies of all time.
That's why I was wondering,
I love this movie.
Right. Well, that's why I was wondering, is this something women want? Where is he like doing something that men generally don't do that is like the dream of a woman? Is it the dream to have a guy who is so into you lead you down this path where it doesn't matter what happens, he's going to catch you and be the best match for you? I don't know. I thought about that a lot.
Right. I think most women would still hold a grudge
about what happened.
about all of the ways that was, I think she at the end it feels like she already kind of knows it's him.
Right.
He's kind of like dropping little hints that it's him. Um but yeah, I mean like I guess he gets her to forgive him as his friend before he reveals himself as the person in the bookstore. But like, is that because why doesn't he why when they're supposed to meet up the first time and he realizes it's her, why does he pretend it's not him?
Because it would ruin it for him. It's selfish. I think it's inherently selfish. He's like, I'm trying to like make sure I have the field in front of me. Like, if he just like comes out with it, he loses the ability to like make sure this goes well for him.
To have all the power.
Right. And so it's a real dickhead thing to do.
She looks like a loser. She's sitting there waiting with her book, with her stupid book and her flower.
And then he fucks with her. And then
right.
Dave Chappelle in the movie. Dave Chappelle. Another part of the movie that made me feel the income inequality, because like the idea that like the owner of this big conglomerate is like also buddies with someone who works with him. Like it didn't even like I was like,
seemingly his only friend.
His only friend, right? And they go to the gym together. Like I'm like, nowadays, like you think Elon Musk or like Bezos is in the gym with like one of his like subordinates at Amazon? Like right. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought he was like great casting though. He was like he was also pretty charming and funny, right?
He was great, and also it's like very male. Like he goes up to like check out the woman. Is she hot? Is all they care about?
Yeah. Right. Well, he's like, well, she kind of looks like that woman, Kathleen Kelly.
You said
if you
she
don't
was
like
attractive.
Kathleen Kelly,
yeah,
you're not gonna like this girl,
right? Yeah. So then he finds out that she's Kathleen Kelly before she knows he's Fox Books, and then they go to that party where like all the couples meet, and you have Greg Kinnear and Meg Ryan. You have Parker Posey.
Right.
And
what event was this?
It seemed like it was a book publishing event. It was because they are both in the same industry. So it would make sense that they would be at a book event where a book is coming out and you would invite all the retailers to like kind of celebrate this popular author who's going to have a big book that you're going to want to sell.
Right.
They meet there and now she immediately hates him because she's like, you're the guy that's like coming into town to put me out of business. And she goes to him online without knowing, like, hey, I need some advice. What would I do? And he's like, you got to fight for it. You got to fight. She's like, I'm dealing with some business problems. What should I do? He's like, you got to fight. He does the Godfather, go to the mattresses, Godfather quote, which is like a big guy thing, fits his character. And it is
especially in the 90s.
Totally in the 90s. And it does fit this whole thing of like, to me, like when they're talking online versus when they're in person, like the online version of them is this like subtle, paced out, just like beautiful
thoughtful
version.
When you have more time. Yeah.
Right. Like, and then that in-person thing, you get all the warts, Yeah.
Well, they're like kind of mean.
Right.
Or he's really kind of mean. He's especially mean because she's so sweet. I think that sort of like adds to but he's mean in like a charming way.
He's mean in the way that like, I guess he's like, I mean, this is I hope this will definitely throw people off, but like, he's like Republican mean, like.
Right. What does your little bookstore make?
Right. This is just how it goes.
$1,000 a year.
This is business. Right. This is dollars and cents. Like when it comes to like the realities of life, it's cold, and he's the cold, hard cash of it all.
Right.
And then because then we see like, she's like, I'm going to fight back by like saying like, I'm going to go on the news. You're changing the neighborhood. It becomes a social cause. And her boyfriend is going to write an article where like, we're going to vilify them. And it's like, the sad part is it's like of what they're fighting is like, at the end of the day, people like a discount more than they care about what they look like, or than the neighborhood.
I mean, it's funny. I think the whole movie is so ironic when you look at it now because again, Barnes and Noble, which was thought to be a big, like a huge, big evil corporation, is put out of business by an even larger, more evil corporation.
And that's it, like,
Of
right.
you know,
Would they be like, it's not personal, it's just business? I'm sure Bezos would say the same thing to Joe Fox. Like, he's like,
right.
but we had a bookstore where people could come in and have a coffee and converse. And he's like, no one wants to talk. They just want
I
it
sell
delivered to
cheap
their door. I
books.
sell cheap books. Right. Like,
Right.
and it is
So sue
ironic.
me.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's like watching a shark eat a minnow and then the whale eat the shark, like
Right.
that's like the visualization of this movie, but I mean that's like so yeah, we get past that part.
And she's so yeah. And I kind of like that the movie actually does have him put her out of business. Like she actually does have to close the store.
Right. So
because it's like it could have easily been like, oh, they in the end they both coexist, but like no. Like he puts her out of business. Does she care enough to not like him?
I mean, if you want to look at this even worse,
really.
if you want to look at this movie even worse, he puts her in a position where being with him is the only way out of destitute. Like, like
he bankrupts her, and then
right, he bankrupts her, and then
offers her a job,
makes her dump, right, makes her dump her only boyfriend, and so now she has to pay her own rent, and now he's like, I love you, kid, and I can offer you the head of the children's book division for our national corporation. And she's like, I guess I have to do this, like
when we tell it. So I'm saying like this whole story could be told in so much more of a depressing way,
right?
If the characters weren't so charming.
They're so good. I like everyone in the movie. There isn't one person I don't like. Even his dad, who's just like banging chicks and getting dumped by chicks and moving onto a boat and having a martini and talking about dating his nanny and forgetting that it was his nanny. Even him I like.
Yeah. I like Kathleen Kelly's bookstore, coworkers,
all
the old
of
lady,
them.
the young one,
the lady
the guy,
the lady who dated a dictator, and then Steve Zahn.
That's what I'm saying. It's so casual the way they like are all commenting on all of it. And none of it is so charged. Like everything today is so charged.
And you have to like think twice of like who these things affect. Like, okay, is bringing up this dictator gonna, she fucked a dictator. Oh my God, do I have to worry about the families who are like fucked over by this dictator? You know what I mean? Like,
right. And the person who's the joke is Greg Kinnear, who's like, who's the one who's like, I could never date someone who didn't do X.
Right.
And that's like basically the ultimate, like the way that they break up is he's like, I could never date someone who didn't vote. I could never date someone who didn't whatever. And like nowadays that would be like, yeah, of course I could never date someone who didn't. But like, she's like, I got a manicure and she's the charming one.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I do think that I kind of watch Greg Kinnear and I still think of that character to be, the worst version of us, like to like speak that way to her in the movie theater. Like he's like, I could forgive you, like what?
Right.
And she stands up and like, forgive me. And they do have a breakup, which, what did you think of their breakup?
I mean, it was the easiest breakup of all. This is like the dream. If you could write a dream breakup, this would be the dream breakup.
Right.
You don't love me. I don't love you either. Oh my God. Who is it? Who's the other person? Tell me all about her.
Right.
Like,
he like
unrealistic.
The only way that
charming
to me, the only way that breakup happens is if he says I'm gay.
Right.
Like,
which he didn't do.
Right.
He's like sleeping with the woman who interviewed him. The TV woman.
The TV woman who was impressed by his bullshit. Like,
yes.
But I the only way to like look at your partner who you were just with 5 minutes ago and go, is there someone else? Like, one of you needs to be gay for you to have that conversation so easily.
And smiling. Like both of you.
Right. So, yeah. So, I mean, to keep going through the movie, we go to like, basically it ends with, he wants to, she goes out of business. He becomes her friend. He promotes this like ideal, like we should meet. And before they should meet, he confesses his love as her friend. But she kind of like is like, I can't, I got this other thing who's the online person.
Right.
And I did have this moment. And then she goes to like meet him and she was like, I was hoping it was you. I knew it was you. I was hoping the whole time. And
not like, I can't believe you were fucking with me this whole time.
Right. That doesn't acknowledge how horrific he's been.
Yeah.
But then I do think it's like a symbol of like kind of what why people are dating the way they do. Like, the dating that you're like missing out on people for these other people that are just, the scripted version of them, or like even the way you date someone, you go, well, they're not the same as they were over text. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's sort of like the first iteration of that you are able to see. Like, would they last? I mean, I guess he's building a real life friendship with her before they meet. So he's able to test that out.
Mm-hmm. He's able to see if she's as good in person. Right. And is she as good in person as she is online? He gets the opportunity.
Right. He's so selfish.
But I think a lot of...
Right. And if she was annoying when they were friends, he would just never suggest that they meet.
Do you think a lot of men need that? Like... Because we get emails...
that's interesting. Do they need a no strings attached, casual way to get to know you, to decide if they want to be with you without the pressure of having to decide if they want to date you?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's like...
Tell me.
I do think the apps in that way are made for the way a woman wants to like handle her dating. And I don't think they're made in the way a man probably needs to date to get like excited about a partner.
So what would a male focused dating app look like? What would a dating app that caters to the way that men want to date look like?
I guess it would include like
meet in the chat room, speak. You know what they look like. They don't know what you look like.
Right.
You spend 6 months hanging out with them,
figuring out if they're cool, and then while you have another girlfriend,
when you're ready,
yeah. I mean, this is very laughable and unrealistic. I'm just saying, like, it does kind of fit the way it went for him. The way a guy kind of like, it had stopgaps on it. It had protections, like it wasn't like he was trying to like bang her, like while they hung out, like none of that was even pushed or preferenced, or like that wasn't even acknowledged. Like, we just assumed there was sexual chemistry.
Right. And there is, obviously.
Well, this might have been the most sexless rom-com of all time.
There's one kiss at the end. Yeah.
That's it. We don't even see a man and a woman in bed together this whole movie, if you think about it.
Yeah, that's true. And even the side relationships are non-sexual. Like the Tom Hanks Parker Posey relationship is non-sexual. The Meg Ryan one it's all very like cute.
Very cute. The only sexual one is his dad's new wife who's hitting on him and puts her hand on his leg. Like it's I guess in that sense it's like weirdly unrealistic. Like,
what, that there'd be no...
Could you immediately be in a serious relationship with someone right from where they start? With no physical anything?
I think I could if we were friends first. Like they've sort of like cultivating this friendship before. Right. So it's not like they've never met. I think I could. Could you not?
I like to think I could, but I'd have to be like so attracted to them. Like it couldn't be like a question. But I guess there wouldn't be a question.
So it's about their physical attractiveness? But even he's saying, do you think that's realistic? Where he's like, even if she's like half as pretty as like he was basically kind of saying outside the cafe that like if she was decent, just decent looking, he was so incredible that it wouldn't matter.
I don't believe him. I think a lot of this is, again, this is all so new to online dating that they haven't dealt with the repercussions of online dating.
Right.
Like, this is like oh my God, I was dating him like he was my boyfriend and we met online and then all of a sudden he bailed.
Right.
I mean, not to say that didn't happen, but I'm just saying, like, I think it's more prevalent now because you do get so far ahead. You do write these love letters to each other. Texting is another version of these emails.
No, totally. I mean, texting is worse because you can text all fucking day.
Right.
Like here, at least you can only speak to them that once, maybe twice a day when you're checking your email at home at your laptop. They're not communicating all day. And I think that's better for whatever relationship they're forming. They're sending long form emails to each other, which feels pretty intimate. I also think Meg Ryan is like the perfect level of attractiveness. She's like beautiful but approachable, not like so obviously drop dead gorgeous that it's like weird.
Right.
That would be something that they were talking about her in casual conversation.
Right. And it wouldn't be like, I guess it wouldn't like throw the whole thing off. Like,
right.
Like her looks are like, yeah, they're good. We're good here. Like there's no like.
Yeah, good enough. Yeah. They're a great personality.
Right. Right. I mean, this was just, did it make you want to date on the Upper West Side? Like, did you kind of like see this and
in
go
1998?
In 1998, does it seem like an attractive proposition?
It made me, yes and no. Part of me is like, because I think the ideal situation, like if you think about 1998, you would think there'd be more in-person interactions, and that's what I would probably miss about it. But this movie highlights a non in real life interaction.
But alongside a real life interaction where they become friends in person.
Right. Through his deception.
While she deals. Yes. I mean, it is weird to be friends with the person putting you out of business, but I guess
dating that person.
Then dating that it's almost weirder to me to be friends. Like, unless she was like looking to get a job from him, or like he never offers her a job.
He kind of forces his way in there.
Yeah.
As her friend. Like he shows up, he's like at her door, literally at her physical door.
Right.
And she's not concerned about paying her rent or anything. This the whole I agree. Like I think the income inequality part of it does feel, that's like the most unrealistic part of it for modern day to me, almost like that. Everyone is living like a pretty good life.
Right. Well, that was the thing of like, you watch this. I mean, even like them having their boats to live on, like they have their own boats to live on. There was kind of a class to being rich then that you don't see as much. Like it was like that, like none of that is like flashed around. They just have a boat. Like no one knew about the boats. Like they didn't have their own Instagram account.
Right. There's no social media. I think there's more like, and I mean, that's true of the city in general compared to like suburbs and stuff, but I think there's just less, you could be rich less obviously back then.
Right. Right. And you're right about the city. Like the suburb, you have the rich part of town, you have the poor part of town, you have the everyone part of town, but like this is like New York City where like you could have an apartment that's really big.
Neck and neck.
Right. Good next to someone who's renting. But they don't even mention whether she's renting. We don't even know if that maybe is her mom's apartment that she's had for 100 years, you know?
Yeah, that's true. It's not really even her store. It's her mom's store. Right, she's also an heiress.
Yeah. So she's doing, maybe she had no problems at all. Who knows? Let's do some
Where's
games.
her dad? She never talks about her dad.
The dad is never referenced.
Ever.
It was a great watch. I mean, it is funny that like a movie like this is like the number one, like just don't look too deep. Like just stop at this movie. Like if you,
right.
Don't let the details bother you. You know, like, because you go, I think as a dating thing, though, it just shows like it's almost like a childlike version of dating today. Like today just has so many other angles. And then for something that was so modern and like complicated at the time, it seems so not complicated. Like we met in a chat room.
Right. I mean, it's definitely oversimplified.
Definitely oversimplified. Met in a chat room. We talk every now and again. And maybe we should
No one's
meet.
trying to send anyone a dick picture.
Right. No pictures. There were no, they didn't even look to see what they looked like. They never knew what each other looked like. That's a big part of this movie.
Right.
Maybe that's the male dating app. Take pictures out.
Yeah. Love is Blind.
Right. That is Love is Blind. That's the whole premise. Yeah. And Love is Blind does get into like the love notes and like, you know, them talking a little bit more like hypothetically versus in reality, you know?
Yeah. And that's the best part of the show is you get to see how that actually plays out once it's real.
Let's do some games. Is there a villain?
I think the villain is Joe Fox and capitalism, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the villain, but you're kind of rooting for him still, right?
I don't need him to find love. You know, like, I don't know. There was nothing like, I don't know. He's definitely the villain if you think about it. I think capitalism is the villain. I think as much as I don't want to say it.
Yeah. I mean, but he's the one who's engaging in it, right? So,
right.
But I mean, that's the society we live in. He's playing, he's playing the game.
He's playing the
game. In all ways. And romantically, business, he knows how to play the game.
I mean, he even has that scene in the elevator where he's like, that was like, I think the most important scene as far as like a rom-com's concerned. It's like you're in the elevator, it's about to go down, and the elevator operator knows the answer to the question. There's only one person he's thinking of. And
right. What are you going to do when you get out of here?
What are you going to do when you get out of here? That's it. And he goes to Parker Posey and she's like, I'm going to go to, like, what did she say?
I forgot. What did she say? It was something
something
stupid.
Horrible. And you're like, he knew, and that I think is
that was his ick. He got the ick.
Right there and then. Have you ever written a love letter?
I've written emails.
Yeah.
Not like, I wouldn't call them, I mean, what's a love letter, right? Like I've written flirtatious emails and given and received. I've had an email relationship of sorts.
I've had that too. And I did the email thing with people, but it was really before the technology had grown to where it is now. I think we are like such a product of like what we have access to.
Yeah. I think we should go back to emails. I think there's not as much of an impetus to reply immediately. People can digest. You can write out something that's well thought out. If someone had to communicate with you by writing an email, you'd probably be emailing less people. It'd be like more meaningful.
Right. You can't just do 20 at once.
Right. You're not sending a how's your day email. You're sending like a more detailed.
This is what the week has been. It's a more.
Yes. Your thoughts on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a.
It does slow things down. Like it's like, that's like kind of like eating. Like they say it takes 10 minutes for your stomach, for your mind and realize that your stomach's full. And it's like.
Right.
If you go to email, like it takes one email to like realize like who you really want to write it to. Like. As opposed to like your mind being split amongst, however many people. And, also when you email, you're like thinking of that one person. When you text, like even on your phone, like there's 7 things happening at once. Like, and you're just like going around the dial.
Right.
That's
what I'm saying. Maybe we should back to email movement.
It's a good exercise for dating. So, like you start dating someone, it's like, can we exchange emails and like kind of start with that? But I think if you're doing that with someone, you probably already like them and, but maybe it's a good way to zone in.
There's like a base level. Yeah, definitely is. I think there's an intimacy.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, a letter is the most intimate form of communication you can get, but an email, I think, is close second.
Right. Let's do a red flag or deal breaker. You ready?
I'm ready.
Constantly quoting The Godfather. Red flag or deal breaker?
I'm okay with this. I quote this movie all the time, obscure quotes that no one even understands but me.
Right. I don't mind if someone constantly quotes a movie, but bring me in. I want to be let known what the scene is.
Let's watch the movie together.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a point where it's been quoted so much, and if I haven't seen it, we got to watch the movie.
Yeah. Otherwise, know your audience. Quote it
Right.
among the audience that you like. My Aileen and I will say like, and Sammy will be like, Happy Thanksgiving back.
What's that from?
You know, when he like, that's from this movie.
When? Yeah, I'm trying to remember the part.
Okay, so she's in the cash lane at Thanksgiving,
Right.
trying to check out the thing, and then everyone in the line is yelling at her to get in another line.
Yes.
And then Joe Fox comes up, another kind of douchey but nice where he's like, "Do you need money?"
Right.
He goes,
Hey,
everyone
poor
goes,
woman.
"Do you need money?"
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another, like, he's such a douchebag. He's like, but then he convinces the cashier to take the card. He goes, "You see this machine? Can you just swipe it in?" And he goes like, "Happy thing."
Now you say Happy Thanksgiving back. That whole thing to me was not smooth at all. Like, I don't know why that was seen as like, you did it, buddy. Like, I don't know if I would help him if I was her.
I think Tom Hanks just has a way of like making things seem like that. I agree it wasn't that smooth, but he acts as though it was smooth, so you kind of believe it was smooth.
Right. I mean, even that's another part of this movie that I find very fun is they really know how to cast annoying people. The guy behind her in line at the grocery store is the most annoying person ever. And
she doesn't have cash.
Right.
She doesn't have cash.
Even though he's right, I hate him.
Yeah. Lady, get in another line.
Right. We all have places to go. Like, it's like this, like, dude, let her pay. Like, you know, like.
Right.
Yeah.
Poor Kathleen Kelly. But then when he says, do you need money?
Right. It just like, well, that goes into this like whole power dynamic that this movie really like, you know, it gets annoying. You're like, he owns her at every turn. Why is it?
I know.
And would we be okay? Could it work could this movie work if the genders were reversed?
And she put him out of business?
She puts him out of business.
And she said, "Do you need money?"
Do you need money? Like, would we buy it?
Have you ever seen the movie The Proposal?
No, it's with Ryan Reynolds. Is that who it's with?
And Sandra Bullock? Yeah.
Yeah.
That sort of is a movie about these roles being reversed.
Uh-huh. And she puts him out of business? I never.
Well, she's like his boss, and
Right.
she basically like blackmails him into pretending to be her boyfriend.
Right. I don't know. I was just thinking, like, would we find the romance in her? Because I do think it is seen by some, or without looking too deeply into it, how romantic it is that he's like leading her along this scavenger hunt.
Right. Well, it's like he's fucked with her, but he's ultimately going to save her, so it's okay.
Right. You're going to be protected by me. Right. I'm going to have everything you could ever want. Love and the love of your life and the person you care about. Right.
Well, in that way, it's a little bit regressive.
Right. Yeah.
Right. It's a little bit of Pride and Prejudice. I don't know if you've seen the movie.
Not to
there too. It's kind of
no
like
money, no land,
no prod.
No
Yes. I'm 27 years old. I have no prospects.
No prospects. Yeah, it's a little bit like saving her off of Single Island a little bit.
Yeah, well, Mr. Darcy in that movie, which is Meg Ryan's favorite movie book in the movie, Kathleen Kelly's favorite book, basically sets his sort of her only option, but she's into it.
Right. Well, that's kind of how this is too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's tough.
Would you date someone who put you out of business?
Who put me out of business and then I guess I would be okay with it based on the way it's presented here. Like,
that's what I'm saying. The story is told here so charmingly.
So charmingly, and like it's not presented as like something she had no ability to have an opinion on. Like, she had the conversation, she's wooing him, he's falling for her, you know, like
right.
She does have agency, you know?
Right. Yeah, she could write her own children's book.
Right. So
that's it.
Listen,
we did it.
We solved You've Got Mail and dating. I loved watching it. I did have this like wistfulness of like, it made me miss New York. It made me miss a version of New York.
Mm-hmm. Fall in New York.
Fall in New York.
Season.
I don't know. It's like, you know, you go, it's a little bit like, what's that thing about the boat that you rebuild around you? Like, because it's like, are we unhappy in this reality more than we would be unhappy in that reality? Or does this just like the growth of time and place? Like, you know, you can't stop progress. Like, that's the thing. Like, this is like, this movie's all about how you can't stop progress. And then I watch it and I'm like, man, I really wish we stopped progress there.
Right. Yeah. No, totally. Yeah, I think there's something that's like kind of romantic and pure feeling about like 90s intellectuals in the Upper West Side, just like living a nice life off the chaos of the internet. I think it's like off of the cesspool of internet life where you could just have either real interactions or interactions with one weird person you met in a chat room.
Right.
Not like 700 people.
Yeah. Well,
with your best friend Dave Chappelle.
Your best friend Dave Chappelle. Yeah, well, all right.
He did a great job in this movie. I thought he was a great comedic relief, a little voice of reason.
He was great. I thought, you know who else I thought was great? The woman, Steve Zahn, and him and her in the bookstore. That girl.
Yeah, they were fun.
She's beautiful. I went and looked her up.
The assistant? She's
in
Legally Blonde.
She's like the friend in every rom-com. I didn't realize that she's like has that role kind of like everywhere. But I was like looking at her. I'm like,
now.
What's that?
Wonder what she's up to now.
She got put out of business and had to marry her.
It's possible.
You know, Miss Congeniality she was in. Yeah.
Yeah. Heather Burns is her name.
She just had this look of like, oh my God, I can tell like someone was like, you're the next thing. Like she got put in this movie as like the next star, you know?
Right. Yeah. Well, she was very good at that. She's very good at the supporting character.
Totally. Well, all right. We solved it. Great watch.
If
you have another movie you want us to do, let us know.
Put it in the comments. We'll talk about it.
Boom.
Bye.